It's Lenten season once again in the Sartorial kitchen, and you know what that means. Fish, fish, and more fish. Kicking things off, it is my baked cod with gremolata topping. Following that, farro. And I'm serving that with a cream sauce made out of the drippings from our cod dish. And last but not least for dessert, hot cross buns. So why don't you pull up a chair and dine with me?
Welcome back, everybody. Lenten season is upon us, and you know what that means. Fish, fish, fish. And today it's cod. I'm doing a baked cod. I think, was it last time around I did the fry kind of thing. So this time I want to do a baked preparation. And this cod, it's fresh. I also like it. It's already been deboned and filleted. If you want to get a piece of fish and do it yourself, more power to you. I am not all about that. I'm just layering this. I've got a greased baking dish here. And I'm going to par cook this fish. I've already got my oven set to 350 degrees. Or, I'm sorry, 375. And I want to par cook it some. We're going to be doing a gremolata or a like breadcrumb topping. And I want the fish to be able to cook through without the topping getting burnt. So we're going to par cook our fish here. Now I also have a pot of water going here. We're going to be doing a farro to go with our fish. So I'm letting that come to a boil. And there's my fish. Let's rinse our hands. I'm going to pop this fish in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes while we work on our topping. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start my farro since the water is boiling. So farro, if you're not familiar with farro, it's a grain, just like rice or something to that effect. But with rice, I always tell you it's equal parts, and you just need enough liquid to fill up the rice. Well, this is a heartier grain, so it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So I've got 2 cups of water in here, which I have salted, because that's going to give our farro some flavor. I'm just going to kind of measure this out so I get an exact amount. That's pretty good, and we're going to dump that right in. Beautiful. I want to give that a little stir, just to make sure nothing's sitting at the bottom of the pan where it's going to burn, and then we want to cover that. Just going to cover this. It's going to cook for about 20 to 25 minutes, and it should be ready to come out around the same time as our fish. So let's move on to our topping here. First, I want to take a couple tablespoons of butter and melt that down in the microwave. It's going to make almost like a crust. Alright, while that goes, let's measure out our breadcrumbs here. I like the panko because it has more texture to it. If you want to use the seasoned breadcrumbs or Italian breadcrumbs, that works too. I'm going to be kind of adding my own seasonings. But I really like the texture of the breadcrumbs. Okay, let's get our butter out here. Okay. Alright, I've got our butter here. To that I'm adding a cup of the breadcrumbs. And I've also got a few other things here. I've got some parsley flakes. I like to use the dried for this. I think it incorporates better than fresh. And I just want about a couple teaspoons. Just for color and a little freshness. We're going to add some salt here. About a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. Salt and pepper, very important, especially with a bland fish like cod. And also some Parmesan. Some people are weird about cheese and fish, but I say you can never have too much cheese. I'm going to do about 1/4 cup of the cheese. It's just going to add a nice richness, a little more of a salt component. And then last, some lemon zest. I'm rolling this lemon. I'm going to be using the juices to kind of make a sauce later. And I'm just going to zest this lemon right over top. I love using lemon zest. It's a great way to freshen up things. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And then you always check the back for stragglers. Beautiful. We'll set that lemon aside for now, and then I'm just going to come in here with a fork. And I'm going to stir this up. I want to get down into that butter. The butter is going to, it's almost like when you're making a graham cracker crust, and you do the graham crackers in the butter, and you get that kind of consistency. So that's going to help our mixture adhere to our fish, which is about to come out. And this just smells amazing. I can smell that lemon already. It's absolutely gorgeous. Alright, that looks pretty good. Nice and colorful with the green and the yellow in there. Alright, time to pull out our fish. Already smells amazing. Alright, now let's add our topping. Alright, we're just going to come in here with some of this mixture. I'm going to set it right on top and just press it down into that fish. And it's just going to get nice and golden brown on top. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And our last piece here. A little more. Beautiful. Just press that in there nice, real good. Alright, now I said I had a couple more things that I want to add here, and I do. First is some lemon juice. This time I'm going to use my little strainer to catch the seeds. And I'm just going to come right over top. And what I want to do is get it on the sides of the fish, not necessarily on top. The lemon juice, it's going to kind of vaporize. It's going to add some nice flavor to this fish. It's going to help this fish stay nice and moist. And then I want to get the other here. just all around the sides here. Good. And then I also have some white wine. This is probably about a half a cup. I don't even know that I'm going to use all of it. Probably about half this bottle, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan here. And don't go buying anything expensive just for this. I use anything that I'll drink. It doesn't have to be fancy. This is going to go back in the oven for about another 8 to 10 minutes, or until the topping is golden brown, and we will be ready to feast. Okay, this farro is almost finished. I'm going to give it a little stir. It kind of cooks similar to like a couscous. When all the liquid's gone, you'll know it's done. You can also take a piece out and give it a little taste. Now, to zhuzh this up a little bit, I've got some dried veggies here. This is a soup mix that I've dehydrated. It's carrots, onions, celery, peppers, the usual. I'm going to throw in about 1/4 a cup, give or take. These are going to plump up in here and kind of rehydrate, and it's just going to add some color and a little flavor to our farro. Just kind of stir that around. And we'll put our lid back on. I want that to continue to steam, and it should be finished about the same time as our fish. We'll be ready to eat up. Alright, everything is coming together beautifully. You can see all the liquid has cooked down from that farro, and it's gotten nice and plump. I'm going to pull that off the heat. I'm not going to plate all of this, but I do want to plate some of it. I've got a nice family-sized platter. This is one of those meals when you're getting the family together for Lent. I just like to do one big kind of plate. I'm just going to plate about half of this, I think. That looks good. The rest of this we'll save for leftovers. And I believe our fish is ready to come out of the oven. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice and golden brown on top. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to come in and take our fish out. And I'm just going to lay it right on top of this farro. Beautiful. Alright, 2 more pieces here. Nice. Beautiful. So we've got some of our wine and lemon mixture, and we've got some of the breadcrumbs and all that seasoning that found its way down in the pan. So I just want to take that and make a nice little sauce out of that. So I'm going to start here with some more butter here. I've just got a little saucepan that's just a couple tablespoons. I've also got some of my garlic. I love garlic with seafood. I want a little of that garlic oil too. Just enough, maybe about a half a teaspoon, just enough that you know that it's there without being too prevalent. And I'm just going to let that cook down with the butter while our fish continues to rest. Use the same spoon here, why not? Let that butter melt down. Just until the garlic is cooked and that butter has melted down. And what's great, the breadcrumbs in there have broken down from the wine and the lemon, so it's almost a paste-like, so it's going to thicken this and just make it really nice and give us a nice texture. I'm going to take my spatula and scoop this right in there. Oh, it smells great. That wine has reduced, but you can still smell that kind of freshness of it. Alright, I'm going to turn that down just a little. It's starting to sizzle pretty good. I'm going to throw in just a splash of cream. And just kind of stir that in. And it's just going to reduce and give us a nice little luscious creamy sauce. It's going to be so good. Turn that on low and let it continue to reduce, and we'll be ready to dig in. Alright, that's coming off. So there's our presentation, but I'm going to go ahead and fix me a little plate. Alright, I'm just going to come in here, get a piece of this fish, and some of that farro. So good. And then I'll just take a little of our sauce here and just kind of drizzle that right over top. So good. Now all we need is a fork. And here we go. Baked cod with farro and cream sauce. Let's dig in. I'm going to get a nice piece of this fish first and just see how flaky and tender it is, and then you've got that beautiful crust on top. So good. Fish is nice and tender, perfect temp. You get a nice crunch from the breadcrumb topping. You can hear that crunch. Let's come in here and get some of that sauce. Sauce is great. Nice and acidic. It just gives it a brightness. That lemon and the white wine, and then I want some of this farro here. What I like about farro, it's almost like a barley. It has a nice little texture to it, kind of nuttiness. Get some additional texture here from those carrots and onions and peppers, and perfect meal for Lent. So I'm going to finish up here, and then we'll be moving on to dessert. It's hot cross buns, so stay tuned. Okay guys, let's talk hot cross buns. Alright, I've got some brown sugar here, some melted butter, some cinnamon, and just a pinch of salt. I'm going to stir that together till we get a nice little paste. And that's just about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, teaspoon of cinnamon, a couple tablespoons of butter, and a pinch of salt. Alright, that looks great. Alright, now the biscuits, I've already popped open. I've saved you the torment of popping open the biscuits. So I'm going to lay these out. Just kind of press them flat. Beautiful. Alright, I'm going to transfer these to my baking rack. I just come in the middle and kind of work my way out. There's 8 biscuits in a container, so that's going to make us about 8 hot cross buns. I may have to start with 6 until I get them sealed, and then I can do the other 2. I like using the biscuits. If you make them traditionally, it involves yeast and all that mess, and you know I'm not all about that. That looks good though. Alright, now we're going to come in here and assemble them. And I'm just going to come in here. I've got a brush. I'm just going to brush that mixture right on. And if you wanted to, if you were doing like a breakfast thing, you want to do like a cinnamon twist, this works too, and you just kind of twist the biscuits up. That's kind of the same idea here with this glaze. I just want to put enough in here to give it flavor. I don't want it to like seep out and make a mess. Just a nice generous helping here in the center. Beautiful. And then the surprise is the raisins. So I'm just going to take a little handful here, maybe not even that many, and plop those right inside. Looks good. Then we're just going to kind of fold it over on itself. Just like that. Close it in on itself and kind of roll it into a ball. And there we go. I will finish up the rest of these. And we'll pop them in the oven. Just make sure it's sealed nice and tight, the filling does not get out. Okay, get rid of this guy here. And I'm going to come in, kind of space these out so they cook evenly. I've got an egg wash here. It's just one egg and some water from the sink. And I'm just going to brush that mixture right on top. That's going to give these a nice golden brown color. Okay. One last thing, I'm going to take my knife. They call them hot cross buns because of the X. I'm going to score just ever so slightly. I don't want to pierce all the way through. Just enough that when these puff up, you're going to get that kind of pattern on it. Alright, and this is ready to go in the oven, 375, just like I had the fish set up. They're going to cook for about 13 to 15 minutes, and we'll be ready to give them a taste. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my oven. These babies are ready to come out. Oh, look at that beautiful golden color. And you see the little cross pattern on top. Lovely. I'm going to let these chill out for a couple minutes. They're pretty hot before I go in for a taste. Alright, let's dive into one of these bad guys here. You see that beautiful little cross pattern on top. I love it. And you just pull into this. You can see that gorgeous filling, the butter and the brown sugar and the cinnamon. And then you get a little surprise of raisins. So much fun. What I love about this, you immediately get that currant texture. On the outside it's nice and golden brown. The inside is soft and doughy. Sweet, but not too sweet, and then the raisins just give it a fun little zing. So there you have it. hot cross buns. As always, I want to thank you for joining me in the kitchen. Please like and subscribe, hit me up in the comment section, and until next time.